First this noontime, our top local story, the search for answers continues today as crews make progress on tearing down the Pawtucket home where there was an explosion on Tuesday morning. Residents, friends are now trying to help the families here. And we now know the names of the victims who were on the third floor. 23-year-old Ruben Gonzalez, 23-year-old Ruby Oliveras, and Leilani Rose Gonzalez, who was just 9 months old. We're getting a lot of new information this morning from investigators. They're looking at the remains of the building for clues to a cause. Let's get out to Eyewitness reporter Sean Daly. He has the latest now with the Blackstone Valley Mobile Newsroom.
Patrick, on day 3, what had been a triple-decker here on Mineral Spring Avenue in Pawtucket is now a big pile of rubble that's being cleared away, as you see right there, as investigators continue to try to figure out what went wrong. An explosion and fire struck a triple-decker in Pawtucket around 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Now, just more than 48 hours later, investigators have narrowed down the source of a likely natural gas leak to somewhere inside the triple-decker. A family friend of a man burned over 70% of his body tells Eyewitness News what he says.
He was cooking something in the kitchen, brownies, something, and then the oven just exploded.
Not so fast. Pawtucket's fire chief tells us the man may have been baking brownies, but actually the oven did not explode. It's in good condition. Investigators are trying to pinpoint the source of a spark that likely ignited a ceiling full of natural gas that had leaked. Remember, natural gas is lighter than air and floats to the top of any room if it's leaking. The fire chief tells us that explains why the victim and his wife on the third floor never smelled natural gas. One possible ignition source is a thermostat clicking on, among other possibilities.
The witness he can only tell what his actions and what happened to him during the event. You know, he might not be able to pinpoint where anything might have been leaking or whatnot.
Investigators also may not be able to pinpoint the source of the spark that triggered the explosion.
We'd never like to leave events unsolved. We'd like to know exactly what happened to try to help in stop these type of things happening in the future.
And yet, even though everyone knows you want to know, are you saying that you might not be able to know?
Yeah, that's quite possible. We might not know.
It's possible, in other words, that the explosion and fire damaged the evidence that would have revealed both the source of the natural gas leak and the source of the spark that may have ignited it. Pawtucket's fire chief tells us he wants to wrap up the investigation by sometime early next week. Live in Pawtucket with the Blackstone Valley Mobile Newsroom, Sean Daly, Eyewitness News.